Hi guys, welcome to Sigma Sunday. Let's talk a little bit today about anxiety. Have you ever felt anxious? My name is Rebecca Sonnenberg. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I am here to hopefully help you be a better leader, better business owner, and better entrepreneur. So when we talk about anxiety, I personally was probably anxious the minute I came out of the womb. I probably was losing my shit in the delivery room for all I know. Although ironically, actually, my mom says I never cried. So I probably was just laying there anxiously waiting for somebody to take me to get fed, but whatever. Here we are with our anxiety. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is how anxiety can play a part in business. Anxiety overall isn't a negative. And I think it gets a really bad rap because of the way that it can overtake your life. So anxiety realistically is what kicks in when, let's say, you're walking down the street and you're like, oh, this dark alley at 2 a.m. would be a great shortcut. I should for sure take that. And your anxiety kicks in and is like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. We're for sure gonna die. And then you check it and you're like, yeah, you know what? Actually, terrible idea. Not gonna take that shortcut. That's what anxiety really is. It's actually there to protect us. However, when you have an anxiety disorder or you're an anxious human being by nature, then it overtakes your life. And that's where it becomes problematic. It's how we manage it. And like I said, as somebody who has been in and out of like anxious thoughts and in and out of anxiety ridden moments, I understand that the term, manage your anxiety. It's like, okay, it's like telling somebody when they're anxious to calm down. They're like, well, we could just baptize a cat. It would be just as easy, right? But you can learn to manage your anxiety. Is it going to take time? Yes. Will it definitely benefit you as a human overall and definitely as a business owner? 1000%. One of the things that I've had to really learn how to do is, for me personally, one of the things I think that works the best is being gracious. Typically, they say that you cannot be gracious and anxious at the same time. I don't know that that's scientifically proven, and I don't know that that works for everybody, but it definitely works for me. So what I do is, like, when my anxious thoughts kick in, let's say, for example, I'm worried about a contract that I'm trying to get into with another business, and I'm anxious about literally everything. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe they don't think I can do this job. Maybe I really can't do this job and I'm going to be the absolute worst fit for this. And I, oversold myself. The minute those anxious thoughts start to take over and they're intruding, that's where you have to kick in with the gratitude. And you have to literally, tiniest things. Okay, this is the other thing I teach people when we talk about gratitude. I'm not talking like, oh my God, I won $5,000, at a scratch off 6 weeks ago. Gratitude can be the tiniest things of just like, man, I had the most amazing cup of coffee today. Or I woke up, my feet hit the ground, and just that moment in and of itself makes me gracious. I could hear the birds outside. That makes me feel alive. I feel very grateful for that. So try to remember that gratitude doesn't have to be this like ginormous thing. It can be little tiny things. The way your kid laughs, the way your spouse, squeezes you and hugs you in the morning and says goodbye. Because when you can focus on those things, when you can focus on that, it takes away from the anxious thoughts, especially the negative narrative that you're telling yourself. Because typically with anxiety, it's the narrative that we're selling ourselves that make it so much worse, right? I'm a horrible boss. Everybody hates me. Nobody's going to want to work for me. And when they do work here, they're absolutely miserable. Okay, well, that's not helpful. And number one, you don't even know that that's 100% true. So where do you take a deep breath? Allow yourself to just sit for a second and just think of some of the things that make you feel grateful. Because when you can do that, then you can start to say like, okay, that other stuff, I don't even know if it's true. And unless I know it's 100% true, there's not a damn thing I can do about it. Because this is the other really crappy side of anxiety, is that you will worry about these 6,000 things over here, and you will wear yourself out worrying about those things. And then these 3,000 things are actually what's going to happen. But when they do happen, you're so worn out with the 6,000 that never happened. Then what? Then you're hosed, right? You can't even handle it because you're so tired from making up horrible narratives in your head that never happened. and you weren't ready for the things it did. So can you sit down and do gratitude? And can you sit down and check in with the monster that is your anxiety? You don't have to hide from it, and you don't have to run from it. And that's the other thing I always tell people, like, don't act like you don't have it. That's dumb. That's just going to make the monster under the bed more realistic. If you're an anxious person, it's okay, but look right at it. Look under the bed and say, okay, yeah, you know what? I am feeling really anxious about how my leadership style is, but let me check in with that. What has shown me, positive or negative, what's really going on? Well, actually, everybody's been really happy, and I've checked in with everybody and nobody has said anything. So I'm going to have to lean on that until I know otherwise. And then when I know otherwise, boom, I won't be exhausted. I won't be tired. I won't have told myself that I'm the absolute worst thing on the planet when I don't know that, so that when something does happen or when somebody does bring me a problem, then I can just say, oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting, but now it's right here in front of me. So now I can deal with it, and I have the energy to do so. So those are the big things that I really want to leave you with. And I think overall, what I really want you to hear me say is being anxious isn't a negative. It's really just how you stayed alive back in the caveman times, and even now, right? But it's how you're managing your monster. It's how you're keeping an eye on it and how you're making sure it's not managing you. So where are you checking in to make sure, do I know this to be true? And if I don't, I can't really do anything with it until I do. And can I sit down and just look at some things that make me feel grateful, make me feel good, and focus on that instead? So I hope that this helps you guys. And if you have other tips that you want to leave, please feel free to do so. I love it. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for joining, and I hope you enjoyed. Happy Sigma Sunday.